Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. It's Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, the channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Sometimes I don't think people see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is not exactly what you see. It's everything that you don't see. Nurses quitting. Teachers quitting. Mechanics are quitting. Pilots are quitting. Then you have a situation that you thought you would never see. Pepsi has a thing that they're trying to roll out. Self-driving trucks. These trucks, as we all know, don't need to sleep, don't need a break, don't need to get paid. They can roll 24/7. And this is the future. This is the future, AI, and this is what some of these data centers are used for. You got this AI that's about to replace the drivers. So a lot of these big trucking companies are talking about getting rid of some of their drivers. So you got a lot of truck drivers who got their loads cut and everything like that, sitting here contemplating how they gonna pay their bills. See, the thing is, nobody ever pays attention to the little things. This is not just a little thing. This is a big thing. When you start cutting pay, when you start cutting the loads, when, those docks, the workers are not there because there's no freight coming in, an amount the way you used to come in. So some of those people got laid off. So you're looking at it right now. It used to be a safe bet if, you didn't have anything else going. You could do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, those grocery delivery things. Yeah, you could do those. But now Uber and Lyft, they're looking at those Waymo's and they're training here in Chicago. The drivers are training them on the route. They're training the AI, to know what to see, what not to see, how to maneuver in these streets of Chicago. So I want you to think about this. Now, you're about to get rid of the Lyft and the Uber's drivers, right? All of these consultants. Ask me, with all of these people being cut, laid off, who has any money? And I know y'all keep saying, man, not everybody out here struggling. No, they not. But I noticed a lot of people have cut back. I've been talking to a lot of people who have been cutting back. Dude, and I want to talk about this. See, that's the thing that we're not looking at. When you see nurses start getting cut at the hospital because Doge did a deep dive into the billing cycles and realized that the bills were full of just garbage. So they're delaying the payments, and they're not paying as much. Because, again, they were gouging customers. Now all of a sudden, shit is real right now. So I'm waiting on them to actually do this with the actual healthcare system. When I say the healthcare system, we are gouged a lot as far as prescriptions and every damn thing. Shit gets real. I want you to understand, when I sit here sometimes, I'm not just talking. I'm talking to you about real things. When you see nurses leaving hospitals because they no longer have jobs, or, their hours being cut, and they go over to the nursing homes and start taking the jobs from the CNAs, this is something that you need to be looking at. When jobs are starting to get cut, things getting phased out, we need to be looking at what could we do out here for a side hustle. All the side hustles, they're being taken up. The Lyft, the Uber, all of this stuff. Even when, cops moonlight and, work security at other places, that's being phased out. It's crazy. It's crazy how all of this stuff is being done. Used to be you could work an under-table job, and get just cash because, that's just what you needed. Those are far in between. There's no more temp jobs. Dude, that I know of, there's no more temp services. Where I used to work at, there used to be tons of temps. There's no more of those. Because they don't need temps. They need warm bodies. They need people to fill those seats. And I'm going to tell you, whether you trained or not, they just want you to fill the seat. The thing that none of us is looking at, this picture, this scenario that, we've been playing over and over in our head, saying that things are going to get better. All we have to do is sit here and scream kumbaya. No, that's not it. It's real out here. It had got real a long time ago. When I was talking to you about all the things that we need to work on as a society, as a group of people, as individuals, bro, nobody listening to that. People just looked at it and said, hey, let that go in one ear and out the other. He just running his mouth. Just let him have his little time. Bro, I'm going to tell you this. As you looking at it, you're being outdone. And you say, you being outdone? What the hell does that mean, huh? You got grown people taking kid jobs. Like I told you, summer jobs used to be for kids. Now you got adults in summer job positions. Bro, I'm trying to figure that one out. How did that work? Now you got adults working at McDonald's, Burger King, the little fast food places that, 9 times out of 10, people wouldn't have worked. Like grown people wouldn't have worked. They'd just be looking at. Even the car wash, grown people wasn't working. A lot of the younger people were working at the car washes. Now you got everybody doing some of everything because everybody need a check. They need to pay their bills. Bro, it got real a long time ago. It was real way before this. But the thing that made this even realer, and I think a lot of people don't understand, is one concept here. It's a bigger concept that a lot of people don't see. You want to know what it is? We are all going through this right now. Everybody is feeling it. See, before, everybody wasn't feeling it. See, it was just certain people feeling it. You had, the poor, the working poor, the working poor, and the working class. They were feeling it. They were feeling it real bad. And nobody, thought about trying to lend any help or tell them, oh, it's going to get better. We need to do this. It used to be where you used to bootleg, out your apartment, or out your back door. You're selling candy, hot chips with, cheese on it and stuff like that. Or sometimes you were selling beer cigarettes. Shit, it was what it was. But that has all been phased out. Why? Because Uncle Sam stops all that unless they getting a cut of it. And see, the thing is, and I'm going to say allegedly, because one of the things you got to look at, taxation. You okay as long as I can tax you on whatever it is that you're doing. If I can't tax you, you're not okay. We're going to have some problems. We're going to have some issues. So we got to find a way to bypass some of these issues and bypass these problems. I look at it every day and I want to talk to you about it. We are experiencing, some of the worst inflation that we have ever had. Gas prices are ridiculous. They surpassed the gas, shortfall of what, 2009? The housing crisis, we surpassed that. Recession. You talking about a recession? Motherfucker, this is a depression. And people are depressed on top of that. Dude, suicides are up. People committing themselves into psych wards is up. Because, dude, and on top of that, I think a lot of people don't understand. You could ask for a 24-hour hold. A lot of people are doing that when they see that they might be put out on the street. So they leave and go, and, they run this and see if they can, keep their place a little longer. Bro, there are rules to the game. And in this game, dude, everything is fair. The bank don't give a damn if you cannot pay. They're going to find a way to try to get it from you. If not, they're going to take the property. The way you could tell they're trying to take people property, the property tax. Check your property tax. Check how much this stuff is going for. Your property tax, your bills. Your property tax is at damn near $20,000 a year, and you live on the south side of Chicago in a bad neighborhood. Or you live on the north side in a bad area. There are bad areas every damn where, bro. And you pay $20,000 a year in property taxes. You sitting there like, the hell? West side, $20,000. Bro, they're raising property tax in a ridiculous amounts. Your house is being flooded by all of this, natural disaster stuff. We going over to other countries, aiding them. We need to be aiding people here, bro. People are just, like I said, they're giving up. even after these holidays, people are like, man, I don't know if I could do this again because the prices. And I know I talked to a lot of people today and they were telling me, man, there were fireworks like crazy around my house. They were just going off. I said, around my house? I said, they weren't going off. I said, and they're like, I said, man, I guess people, going through something pocket wise. They're like, where you live? And I told them. And they still trying to figure out, like, how the hell, dude, I'm going to tell you something. I heard fireworks like the day of. And I heard it from like 5 on up. And I heard it a little bit the next day. I ain't heard nothing today. I'm going to tell you this. This is when you can tell shit is real. This is when you can tell people are really pacing themselves. Before, people were just crazy the years before. Like in May, they were popping fireworks every damn day. I mean, it was boom, boom. You seen stuff flying. You like, damn, like, what do they got out there? It's lighting up the whole damn sky. You like, damn, like, now you're looking at this shit, man, and you like, man, like, what is going on? Now, the area I live in is not poor. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. When you see the area that I live in, and it's not some high-priced area. It's nothing like that. I say that because when you don't see Christmas decorations, Easter decorations, when you used to see this stuff around here all the time, like I told you, the older crowd left. The older crowd knew how to spend their money. And I think this younger crowd don't know how to spend. And I think they're just, throwing money at everything. I understand you want to live, and I talked about this. I may sound hypocritical, but sometimes you got to get out here, man, and you got to experience this life. This life doesn't wait for nobody, man. Like I told you, you put them damn locks on that door and you fly off somewhere and go for a while. Your body needs to relax. It needs to, sit down and be like, man, I was able to sit down for a little while and this and that, Oh, and on top of that, people just don't see what's truly going on out here. It's a plot out here to buy up all these houses. And that's what they're doing. That's what Vanguard and BlackRock is doing. They're buying up the homes. They're tearing down the homes, either building luxury homes or condos or apartment buildings. All three of them. I'm trying to figure out who's going to stay in the luxury homes, because if you done phased out majority of the damn jobs in certain areas, I'm not talking about all over the country. I'm saying, not everybody lost their job. There's 350 million people in this country. There's about 300 million people probably still got jobs, bro. 250, 275, 300,000. Shit, I don't know. But I'm going to say it just like this. There's a lot of people who don't got jobs too. So you got to look at that. And, it's not all in one place. It's spread out. And this is what I've been talking about to a lot of people. It's not all in one place. And people think, man, I looked around my area and I didn't see it. Man, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about a few people. The few key people. The people that keep shit running, like your bus drivers and, your delivery men and, all of these people, man. The cashiers, your waitresses and all of this other stuff that you don't see, that you really don't pay attention to. If everybody's struggling, then that's the question. What is really going on? Where's all the money? Now that everybody talking about, creating their own and doing their own thing, why is everybody mad? Dude, there's enough of people to actually pay for shit. Dude, I don't understand. And this is what you got to look at, man. In this area, there are, closed businesses, things like that. You're going to find that here. You're going to find it everywhere in Chicago. North, west, south, east. Businesses closed. Don't get me wrong. They could be doing really good, but you raise their rent up to a point where it's not evening out, or, you not winning a little bit. Because if you're paying high rent, you should be making somewhere up here. And your rent should still be down here. Even though it's high, it should be down here. You should be up here somewhere. Anytime they trying to raise the rent to the point where it's you're not making a profit, then they get mad, people leave. I'd rather have somebody in the space than nobody in the space. Dude, the guy was charging the guy at one point in time to run a business, the restaurant. He was charging him $2,000 a money rent. Then all of a sudden he said, okay, the area's popping, you making a lot of money. I'm to go ahead and make a killing off your ass. I'm gonna raise the rent up to $3,000. You know, and I know you're like, that ain't a lot of money if you think about it. No, it's not. Then the landlord got slick and tried to raise it up to $5,000. The guy closed the business, moved his equipment, found a place right across the street, and opened right up. How you like them apples? Now you done lost all the money and your business is closed. How you gonna pay your damn mortgage on that place? See, like I said, people get greedy and they get ignorant. And this is how you always lose. Too many people out here trying to win, but not win correctly. Sometimes, man, you got to sit back and look at the whole picture, the big picture, not just the little pieces that you see. Oh, man, I'm just looking at a few things right here, and, and I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And no, you need to look at everything. Once you look at everything and you be like, I really don't like the way that is. I really don't like the way this set up. I don't like the way that's set up. I want to change a few things. Brother, and I always say this, don't have all your eggs in one basket, bro. It's okay to have money in the bank. It is. I said take out some where you can have some just in case you need it. I'm not talking about for some weird thing that may happen, in this world. I'm talking about just in case you need to go get some gas for your car and you like, man, I ain't got no way to get, and I don't want to put my card in that, the gas pump because, they got skimmers every damn where now. So you getting hacked everywhere, man. Bro, I just look at it just like this. Life is like an obstacle course sometimes, man. You jumping over obstacles, ducking over hurdles, and, whatever shit. I don't know what it is that we doing out here, man. Hanging from monkey bars, man. We over here trying our best, bro. This is why I say every grown man or woman needs a side hustle. If you are upset that you see me placing ads on a video or, hawking hats that I wear in the video, bro, come on now. Get past that. Everybody out here trying to make a buck. It's not like I'm making millions of dollars here. And I think people are, oh, but you got like 50,000 subscribers. You should be making a ton of money. No, I shouldn't. It's based on a whole lot of other things with YouTube. Just because people watch your video don't mean anything. You got to go into a whole bunch of other categories with YouTube. And the only thing that really hits real good if your video goes viral. As people start watching and, you got people out there, watching the video. Yeah. I'm not trying to diss anybody, but I'm saying this is a business at the end of the day. Whatever I make here, I got to pay taxes on. Real talk. So, yeah. I'm going to take all the criticism, people talking crazy. Yeah, I want to make a little money off of this. I want you to understand, this is real. This is a business. This is not Uncle Sam, oh, well, hey, you don't have to pay your tax. Yes, you do. They garnish that damn check, you start understanding. Sometimes they don't play with you with these garnishments. At one point, they were garnishing your whole damn check. Before the government stepped in, before the city stepped in, before the state stepped in and said, hey, look, you can't do that. This person still got to get back and forth to work. If you take all the money, hell, they ain't gonna go to work because they can't go. Just like when child support was suspending people's driver's license, and the guy made a great point in court. He said, I work far away. He said, I need my car to get there. He said, it's not like I'm not paying the child support. He said, it's like each time that I turn around, y'all raising it up. And just to be honest, I can't afford all of these hikes y'all doing. He said, but the thing is, I need the car to work. If you take the car, I cannot work. Now all of a sudden you want to put me in jail. And I was just listening to this man talk, and I'm like, man, you got a point. It's just like taking someone's house, because they pay, everything like that, because you mad, you want to do everything. So this guy got hit with a $20,000 child support bill. The kid passed away at 3. It was all over the damn news. Kid passed away at 3. They had no idea the kid passed away. Death certificate and every damn thing. They saying, well, he might still be, on the hook, for like the 3 years the child was alive. I'm like, wait, hold on. Dude, if nothing was put against him, the kid is gone. The kid has been gone for a very long ass time. The kid been gone for 35 years. What are we doing? See, the government, man, then you come out that I'm going to just say it was voter fraud and everything that we've been dealing with in the society, because how is it that dead people can vote? You heard what I said. How is it that dead people can vote when the people that are alive can't vote? Make it make sense. But I want you to understand, the rich people could do whatever they want in this country, while the poor get to look around and, beg for scraps, bro. Make it make sense. But to later, fam, I want you to understand, this is not me chastising anybody. This is me saying, we got a lot of work to do here. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Oh, New York Yankees, green brim, flat brim, light blue hat, navy blue Yankee sign, New York Yankees, white background, side of the hat, Subway Series, New York Yankees, 2000. You done seen this hat in a pickup or whatever it was. Me showing the hat's Major League Baseball, but I wanted to show you the hat with it on my head, man. So, yeah, I just want you to understand that this is not me trying to chastise anybody. This is me saying we need a lot of work here. But till later, peace out.